Yes, indeed. B Marsh Boxing back at it with another boxing video. What's good, boxing heads and fight fans around the world? Unified champ at 154, light middleweight, junior middleweight, super welterweight, whatever you want to call it. Jarrett Hurd. Just call him the unified champion. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. Number one man in the division. Definitely in my top five pound for pound out of all fighters on the planet. And if you don't like that, go do your homework. Tell me who got a better resume right now, who's doing bigger and better things than Jarrett Swift Hurd from Accokeek, Maryland. Stand up, PG County, 301. So, Jarrett Hurd, he's going to be facing Julian J. Rock Williams. Julian J. Rock Williams is ranked highly in the WBC and the WBO. I believe he's the number one contender in both sanctioning bodies. And he's ready for that fight with the man, Jarrett Hurd. Jarrett Hurd has said that he would like to fight the man. Um, Possibly he would like to fight the man for a hometown fight. You know what I mean? A hometown fight, to be honest, as of right now, is looking highly unlikely. Now the dates you see, I posted up in the title of the video. They targeting April 27th or May 11th. The fight will be televised on either Showtime or Fox. Preferably, I'd like to see the fight on Fox for the whole country to see the man Jarrett Hurd, see the kind of talent we got coming out of the D.C., Maryland area. Stand up Hillcrest Heights Boxing Gym over there in Temple Hills, Maryland. That's where the man Jarrett Hurd trains from. You know what I mean? Now, the reason I say more than likely, uh, like I said, they've been targeting Jarrett Hurd. He's been wanting a hometown fight. But the two options they have right now are the Barclays Center, home of the Brooklyn Nets, and hopefully a hometown fight in Washington, D.C. But more than likely, I heard Javed Hurd's interview on the Boxing Voice sometime last week. And as far as venues in the area, look, the man Javed Hurd, he displayed his dislike for the DC Armory. Now the DC Armory is a classic old school arena in Washington D.C. It used to be like a World War II armory. Like basically, they used to hold weapons up in there. The U.S. government, you know what I mean? But long story short, it's an old arena from like the 40s, the 30s. You know what I'm saying? The D.C. Armory don't even have no screens. It ain't got no big screen. There's nowhere to see any replays. Look, when you're watching a fight and the fight's ended, and let's say somebody gets knocked out. Um, for example, I'm just giving an example. Like, let's say Deontay Wilder versus Fury. Okay, now Jim Gray's over there, holding the mic, talking to Deontay Wilder, and then they show him a replay of the knockdown in round 12. And then while they showing it to him, the whole crowd could see it too. And let's say when Deontay drops that left hook and he drops the man Tyson, then you hear the crowd say, "Ooh." You know what I'm saying? That's because the crowd could see everything that's being televised because basically the cameras are hooked up to Showtime's broadcasting and production team. Well, DC Armory ain't got none of that. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no replays, ain't no screens. It's a very old arena, you know what I'm saying? The atmosphere is live, no question about it. There's some knowledgeable boxing fans that go up in the DC Armory. If you get some good seats, then you're in luck, you know what I mean? You can see the fight well. I've seen the fight. Only time I haven't had the best view is when I was seated on the floor, you know what I'm saying, at the DC Armory. And that was for Jesse Vargas versus Saddam Ali and Tony Thompson and Luis Ortiz. But when you sit seating in the bleachers, I've even sat up in the very top when I seen the man Adrian Broner, and I had a perfect bird's eye view, paranormal, a vicious view. You know what I'm saying? Where I could see everything. From a bird's eye view. You know what I mean? So I could understand why Jared Hurd don't like that arena. It's an old school arena. Not to mention they have the MGM National Harbor that they built 2 years ago. But then again, Jared Hurd's not satisfied with that arena neither because it only holds 3,000 people. You know what I mean? Jared Hurd's been fighting in front of crowds of 15,000 or more. So fighting a 3,000 seat arena is going backwards. That's the only problem. I think that's why we haven't had so many. We really can't have no big fights over here at the MGM National Hard Boxing Hill, Maryland. If it only holds 3,000 people. Lomachenko fought Jason Sosa there. Gary Russell, his last two fights versus Escandon and Jojo Diaz were at the DC at the MGM National Harbor, and Dimitri Bivol, I think his first time in the United States when he fought that dude Samuel Clarkson on Showbox, was at the MGM National Harbor. Besides that, they ain't really brought no boxing over there like on a consistent basis. Lamont Peterson will be facing Limpinets sometime this spring over there, and I hope to attend. But those are the problems that Jarrett Hurd's facing right now when he wants to have a hometown fight. Jarrett Hurd could try fight up in the where the Wizards play, Capital One Center, or formerly known as the Verizon Center. But in order to do that, he'd have to have a big opponent. You know what I'm saying? He'd have to have the likes of Jamel Charlo, Tony Harrison, Unifications, just some major fights to fill out that Capital One Center. You know what I mean? So that's where Jarrett Hurd is stuck in limbo right now. But it looks like this fight is official, man. Jarrett Hurd versus Julian J. Rock Williams. You know what I mean? Jarrett Hurd 23 and those 16 KOs was in my fight of the year of 2018. That fight versus Erislandy Lara, where they were trying to rob the man Jarrett Hurd. If he didn't get that knockdown, they was going to try to rob the man. That man washed Lara, and I'm a fan of Lara, but Lara got a beat down. You know what I'm saying? Julian J. Rock Williams is ranked number, like I said, he's ranked at the very top at the WBC and the WBO. From is it IBF? I think it's IBF and WBO. Yeah, the IBF and WBO, and he's ranked number 8 by the Ring Magazine, the number 8 junior middleweight in the world. You know what I'm saying? 26 and one draw, and 16 KOs. You know what I mean? Um, he lost to the man Julian J. I'm sorry, to Jamel Charlo, but he's had 2 fights coming back after that when he fought that Guillermo dude, Gallimore, Jamaican dude, and he fought Ishe Smith. You know what I mean? So those are his fights to put him back on the scene. Erislandy Lara was, I believe Erislandy Lara was mandated to fight J. Rock Williams or somebody. I think it was J. Rock, or I think he was even a man. Yeah, I think it was J. Rock Williams, but he decided to go the WBA route, and he's going to be fighting the regular champion with the WBA regular title, 15 and 0 or 15 and 1. Brian Castano, a guy from Argentina. I just seen this fight not too long ago when he beat Michael Soro, another light middleweight over there in France. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to this fight. Hopefully they can bring it around the way, bring it to D.C., Maryland, so I could attend, see Jarrett Hurd live in effect, unified champ, WBA, IBF champion. He's still eyeing that green belt. He wants a piece of that WBC belt. Hopefully he could have a look. Hopefully Jamel Charlo and Tony Harrison could get a rematch, and whomever wins that fight could fight the man Jarrett Hurd. Hopefully, we'll see. B Marsh Boxing, let me know what y'all think about this fight. I think it's a very good fight. I think it's a dangerous fight for the man Jarrett Hurd. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe he got the skills to pay the bills to get the victory versus the Philadelphia native Julian J. Rock Williams. Hop, what's up? Hoppy's in the chat. What's going on? He said, didn't even know Lamont was still fighting. Why wouldn't he still not be fighting? He ain't never mentioned he's retired. You know what I'm saying? Nah, he's still fighting. Lamont Peterson's a warrior. If he stops fighting, you'll definitely hear it from Barry Hunter and himself. But he's still fighting, and he's in the mix. He's going to be fighting Limpinets. And believe you me, whomever wins that fight is looking at opportunities for world title contentions. You know what I mean? Fighting some world champions sooner than later. So we'll see. But Lamont Peterson is fighting Limpinets later on in the spring. All right? B Marsh Boxing, I'm gone. Peace.